Welcome back. It's time now for Media Watch. James Creedon is here with us, and James has the reaction online to the deaths of two Western journalists who were killed in the Syrian city of Homs. We're talking, of course, about the American journalist Marie Colvin, who was working for the Sunday Times newspaper, and the French photographer Rémi Ochlik, who was there for Paris Match. James.
Well, it's interesting to see the reaction online this evening, Mark. Lots of tributes being paid to these two remarkable war journalists. The Sunday Times has tributes, of course, on the front page of their website. You've also got the former editor-in-chief of the newspaper, Andrew Neil, one of dozens of journalists who have paid their respects to her work, her courageous work over the years. He speaks about a brave, magnificent and tenacious journalist. Now, the Sunday Times has a paywall, so you can't actually access their material unless you are subscribed. But here they have lifted it for her last article, which I printed out. It's about 6 pages long, and it is really worth reading because it shows that she really was really good at what she did. And in that article, you have a lot of anecdotes. She went to visit what she called a widow's basement. So you have really interesting and quite moving accounts of people who've lost their family, who are in these kind of, what would you say, almost bunker-type conditions underground. She speaks to a dentist who was working as a sort of a makeshift surgeon, taking shrapnel out of people's bodies, and she gives really graphic descriptions of that. She speaks to another woman who, along with her sister, the two of them are caring for 13 children. Her sister's eldest son, 16 years of age, was killed by a missile that fell on their house. There are 3 children sharing single mattresses. She's painting really a picture of absolute and utter chaos, really. And she speaks to one of those mothers, and who says, and I quote, "The kids are screaming all the time. I feel so helpless. We feel abandoned. They've given Bashar al-Assad the green light to kill us." That was her last article, and she got it out, and it's well worth reading. And it shows the kind of journalist she was. Now, there is one video that I want to show as well, Mark, that I found a link to on Twitter today. Now, this is kind of moving, really, because she's giving her reaction to... She lost an eye in Sri Lanka due to shrapnel, and she's talking about the dangers of being a war correspondent. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Many of you now must be asking yourselves, or is it worth the cost? And in lives, in pain, and it's not just for us, but also to families and friends. My answer then and now is that it is worth it, I believe. So those are my thoughts. I hope we'll be colleagues in the future.
Marie Colvin, an absolutely remarkable journalist and much missed by those who knew her. And those who just came into contact with her, I saw something sent from a cafe worker in Libya saying what a nice woman she was. She brought her coffee when she was reporting there. She said she was a lovely woman, really nice.
Seems to be across the board positive.
Can we talk about Rémi Ochlik now? Earlier, I looked at his website.
Yeah,
and
really great
his photographs
stuff.
Are absolutely remarkable. I urge you to Google Rémi Ochlik, find his website, and take a look. Remarkable pictures. Obviously, an extremely talented photographer.
Definitely. A young guy, only 28 years of age.
Too.
Absolutely. And look at this tweet, Mark. This is a guy who's saying he spent 5 minutes looking at this one photo taken by Rémi Ochlik. And this is the photo he's talking about. This was taken in Libya, where he was during much of the conflict. So
that is a breathtaking photograph.
It's remarkable stuff. And so one person on Twitter saying he spent 5 minutes looking at it. Now, of course, it wasn't just Western journalists. We could talk at length about Rémi Ochlik, but there's also this guy. He was a Syrian activist, had uploaded some 200 videos from Homs online showing what was happening on the ground. And you can see here that there are, he was one of 7 activists killed in the last number of days. What's, I suppose, in some way reassuring is that you can see on this website, Libération, they have a blog dedicated to Syria. You can see so many others still doing the same job, still, uploading those videos of what's happening on the ground, citizen journalism. So his, I suppose, work, he's not the only one, luckily. But let's take a look at some of the pictures that he did put up online over the last number of weeks. And one shows him, I suppose, just talking to camera. This was actually uploaded just yesterday. Whether or not it was taken yesterday, I can't confirm. But then there's another one showing street scenes in Homs, people gathering and discussing, and I suppose in some way rallying together. So those are the sort of scenes that he got out and showing what is happening on the ground. And they are still coming out, despite the fact that many are now saying these journalists and activists may have been targeted, may have been taken down to try to silence them. Well, if that's what the aim is, it's not working because other people are ready to take their place. But I suppose you could say with such talented journalists such as Marie Marie Colvin being taken down, they are difficult in terms of their talent to replace.
So, in memory of Rami Al-Sayed, Remy Oshlik and Marie Colvin, Media Watch, James, thank you very much indeed. And thank you for joining us. Time for a short break now. We're back with more news after that, including all the sport and some culture for you. Lots to come here on Live from Paris.